So today we're going to do weekly outlook, and as you can know, for major pairs this week, actually for the past 2 weeks, major pairs have not been giving us very clean setups, and you realize that most of our higher time frame key levels are being violated by the counter trend or this pullback. So you can see here on the weekly. This week we even closed above this fair value gap. So in this case here, we have already inverted this fair value gap. And I know some of you might be thinking, okay, could this price be going to this order block here? From my experience, most of the time, if price is really willing to continue going bearish or if bearish is strong, most of the time we would just have wicked, tapped this order block and then close and not violate this fair value gap. Close inside this fair value gap with body closes. But the moment I get such kind of price action where price is violating my weekly PDRA, then normally what that means, maybe price now is retracing to even a higher time frame key level. So which forces us now to move even higher, one more time frame higher and see what we have here. So now this is the monthly. You can clearly see that on the monthly DX, these are USD pairs. USD pairs has been bearish. So this is the DXY representing USD pairs. So we have this fair value gap here that got inverted June. So June inverted this fair value gap here. So which begs the question, could this DXY be now retracing to this higher time frame key level? Because remember, market structure happens on all time frames. It's not only weekly and daily where market structure happens, even monthly, even 3 months, every single time frame has market structure. And most of the time, if price makes a higher high or a higher low, we have to retrace. The retracement has to happen. We cannot just have bearish move all the way until the year ends. So now, this is the being the month of July, guys, and the month of July, as we said, for major pairs, it's a bit slow because traders in Europe and North America, they're taking a holiday. So could this be now the reason why we are seeing this movement? And even though we are retracing, I'm sure you have seen the past 2 weeks, the price action has not really been clean. Let's just see the daily candle. If you look at the daily chart, can you see how I want you to compare these candles with these moves here. You can clearly see here, this tells you that the volume isn't really that much. And this is what I meant when I told you guys last week that in the month of July and August, you should be really careful. Even though at least DXY we got some good moves on Monday last week, but you can see Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, these are still more of like dodgy candles. So you can imagine that expansion. It means we've not been having one full expansion that don't come back. It means our expansion, our weekly and daily candles have been expanding, then we close back. We expand, we close back. So we've been getting such kind of price action, which is normally really not clean or the best, because we normally like the kind of price action where if high or low of the week is created, we want to see the expansion for the rest of the week from the high and then we close, from the high low and then we close the candle. Not such kind of dodgy price action. And that is why I've been avoiding major pairs for the past 2 weeks. But for those people who really want to trade, I still believe that for DXY now, for which means USD pairs, bullish price action could be stronger. So we might get here maybe to this weekly order block. You can see we also have a volume imbalance here. Then get a retracement and maybe reverse completely. We continue with the bearish move, or we might get here, get a retracement and continue until we get to this monthly inversion fair value gap. And for me, what I see, it looks like it's high probability price might get to this monthly inversion fair value gap. But so that is a possibility. We might continue bullishly, or price might get here and then we continue with the bearish move. But for me, this is high probability. So let's look at GBP and we also start again from the monthly. At this point here, it's good to just look at more higher time frame and see what price is doing. You can clearly see here we've already formed a higher high, and we did that in the month of at least June. We really cleared these highs and formed a higher high. So of course, which shows this price action is really bullish. We are still bullish for GBP USD, and we're looking at these highs as potential target price might get to. It might fail, but we're looking at it as potential, maybe this year or next year, whatever. So now, if you know market structure, I've taught you guys that anytime we make a higher high, we must get a retracement. You can see after we made this high high, we got a retracement. We made this higher high, we broke this structure. When we did break of structure here, what happened? The market gave us a retracement. So all these retracements, they happen on all time frame, not only on the weekly and the daily, guys. So we had this retracement, and now we have made another higher high. If we were looking at this as a daily, if we were looking at this as our daily or a weekly outlook, right now, after price has done this, we could be marking this fair value gap here. Also, we could mark this order block here. And I would tell you guys, this week, I want to see price get to this daily fair value gap, and then you continue going bullishly, or get to this order block and then you continue going bullishly. That's literally what I would have done if this was a weekly. If this was a weekly chart and we were doing a weekly outlook, I would also have marked this range from this low to this high and get the 50%, which is around where this fair value gap is. So the same way we look at market structure on the weekly and daily, even when you move to a higher time frame like monthly, market structure is still market structure. This monthly fair value gap is actually a place I would really love to see this market get to before we continue with the bullish move. If we're really bullish, you see that will be in line with the DXY, because DXY we have that monthly inversion fair value gap that we also want to see price get to before we continue with the bearish move. So if DXY plays that, also GBP USD might play this setup, because remember they are inversely correlated. So if you move to the weekly, you can see, so this is our monthly fair value gap. We have it here, and the monthly order block is right here. It can be a first target that price might finally get here before again we look for another confirmation that it's still willing to continue bearish. So let's first of all look at the daily time frame. Remember, guys, I've always told you that the higher time frame key levels normally plays precedence compared to the lower time frame key level. This is the daily time frame, but let's say, for example, this is the 4-hour time frame. If this was our 4-hour time frame, and then we have a daily key level here, and maybe or a weekly key level here or a daily, right now our priority could be we want to see price getting to what, to this daily key level. So so on, if we're looking at a monthly as your key level, of course when you look at a daily becomes a lower time frame of the monthly. And as you can see, we inverted this fair value gap here. So already this shows us that our daily key levels are even being inverted, and bears, they are now really strong on the market. So really, I want to see us use this inversion fair value gap to push price lower. So this is my first target. I'm sure you can see here, guys. All this is liquidity. We have this sell side liquidity here. Helps this sell side liquidity here. For those people who are position traders, you can be sure there are so many people who have trailing stop losses here. We have trailing stop losses here. So we watch and trade what the market is giving us. We should not force our setup or our analysis on the charts. So Euro USD and GBP USD are positively correlated. So from the analysis I've done on GBP USD, I'm sure if you go to your charts, Euro USD, you should be able to do some analysis. So the next pair that I want us to look at is the JPY pairs, the yen pairs. The yen pairs actually look so good for us to trade. And if you trade yen pairs, you should always have JPY basket with you. Just go here and search JPY basket. It should give you this. This is what you should see, yen basket. So this yen basket is just the yen. We are literally measuring the yen, what the yen pair is doing. The same way DXY measure is dollar, that is how yen is. So which means if you're trading Audi JPY, GBP JPY, Euro JPY, CAUD JPY, and USD JPY, you'll find that they are negatively correlated with this yen. So if yen is bearish, then that would mean Audi JPY, CAD JPY, GBP JPY, you should see them having a bullish price action. And that is why for the past few weeks, actually last week, we had really very good bullish moves for those yen pairs. So I want us to look at it, but we will start from the 3 months time frame. I know, guys, it sounds crazy, but I just want us to start from the 3 months. So if you look at the 3 months, we had this bearish order block. You can see it has been tagged severally. So also this is a rejection block here. So also here we have a rejection block, because you can see these candle bodies are not closing above this high here. And you can see it's been bearish. So which means this next 3 month candle that will close 2 months from now, we are likely to expand to these lows here. And if you check this low here and this low here, these are like relative equal lows. So which means for our CAD JPY, GBP JPY, Audi JPY, which means we should be expecting bullish price action for some time. So let's look at the monthly for yen pairs. You can see the monthly. What do we have? Here is our sell side liquidity. So let's look at GBP JPY. Remember, GBP JPY and yen JPY basket, they are negatively correlated. So if you're expecting them to be bearish, so GBP JPY should be bullish. GBP JPY weekly. Weekly we have this order block here. This is what I see. So if we move to the daily, you can see on the daily we have this fair value gap here. Also, this fair value gap, this is a good place that market can actually retrace from, and we continue with this bullish move up. So which means I'm watching this fair value gap. If price maybe takes out this Friday's low and then gives us a good confirmation that we're ready to go bullishly, I'll consider a bullish trade. And also price might weak. We might just get a week, maybe to tag this also weekly order block before we continue with the bullish move. So here on the 4 you can see it is so clear. We have these liquidities here. All these are sell side liquidities, and we also have this fair value gap. So it would be nice if price actually takes out all this liquidity as it tags this fair value gap, then we continue with the bullish move. I don't want to see daily candlestick closing below this fair value gap. So let's look at the CAD JPY, and again we'll start from the 3 months. I know, guys, don't worry. So if you look at the 3 months, we had this fair value gap, and you can see price has been uh, tagging this fair value gap, tagging it and we reject. And also the last one, April, will also tagged it and rejected it. The same way we saw with JPY. So now, if this 3 month candle is going to close bullishly or is going to expand bullishly, we want to see at least these highs. This is a previous 3 month candle, I know, but we want to see price, expanding to get to these highs. Of course, it might take the next whatever months, because we're still not done with the year. So, but I'm just looking, this is more of like long term. So let's look at the weekly. You can clearly see we've been bullish. We've had very, very nice bullish moves. Here we have this order block. So if you come to the daily, we have this order block here. So yes, so this is a good place. Price might actually retrace, may retrace to this order block, daily order block, and then we continue with the move up. But of course, the market will just show us. Always wait for confirmation. It's better you take a trade, continuation trade, than trying to pick the high or pick the low. So if you look at the 4 hour, we have this order block. So this is our key level or point of interest. That will push price. So we might get retracement here. So we might get retracement here on this for our order block or this daily order block before we finally continue with the bullish move up. So let's look at Audi JPY. Will be fast here because already we know what we expect. Bullish price action. We move to the weekly. You can clearly see we've been bullish, and yeah, we've been bullish. So this is more of like a CIST, got a change in state of delivery there. After price tagged a higher time frame key level. Here we had like a 3 month key level. There was a key level here. The rest of the JPY pairs, guys, you can just go through it. I'm sure now you know the drill, what to look for, and all that. So next, let's go look at gold. So if you're looking at gold, the last time we had like a really good move was after price tagged this internal range liquidity. We had this bullish move and took out this high, but this high here is still intact. So at this point, all this I can say that price has just been going back and forth. So on the daily, I'm sure you can clearly see how clear it is. On the daily, we're sort of in a consolidation. We are in some sort of a consolidation. We took out that high, so that is what gold is doing. Because if you can compare this price action to this one here, you can see all this. This was a trending market. We've been getting bullish moves, but here Let's see the daily. So on the daily, you can see here right now what we have. We have this order block created here on the daily, and price took out this high here. So the next high that I see, maybe this high price might get to these highs here. And we have some tiny fair value gap here. We have this fair value gap here. If we violate this fair value gap, then that can show that price might be willing to go lower. So that's what I look at. Either price tags this order block and we continue going higher, or we tag this fair value gap and we continue going higher, or we violate this fair value gap and now start going bearishly. So all those three is a possibility, because remember uh, it is in some sort of a consolidation. So we just wait and see and what gold will give us. Remember, guys, you just watch and see what price will give you. You work with structure. If your key levels are being violated, that should tell you something, and then you reevaluate. Because remember, nobody can predict the market 100%. The market can do whatever it wants. These weekly outlooks that I give you every week, I'm just using market structure and PDRAs. It's not like I know what the markets will do next week. So lastly, I want us to look at NAS 100. You can see we had this weekly fair value gap. Price did not get to it. So again, we've already made a higher high. So if price is going to retrace to continue going higher, we might get to this weekly fair value gap and continue going higher. That's a possibility. So when we were doing a weekly outlook the other week, remember we marked this fair value gap, and you can see this is what happened, and then we had this move up. So our weekly fair value gap is still intact. And guys, NAS 100 is at all-time highs. Anytime we are at all-time highs, Mm, anything is possible. The market may still just continue going bullish again from here. We might even fail to get to this weekly fair value gap. But I'm just still watching this weekly fair value gap and seeing what price will do. We might get here, or price might, continue going bullishly from here.